The first thing I remember is the game that I love. A man on a diamond with a golden glove. Daddy with me in the cheap seats above saying...
Welcome to the Two Cutoff Men, the podcast dedicated specifically to the Cincinnati Adult Baseball League. I'm Jason Earhart, along Colt 45's first baseman Ray Sterling as we recap the week that was, the week ahead, and all things CABL.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
And thanks again for tuning in to the Two Cutoff Men. For more information about our league, you can visit our Facebook page by searching Cincinnati Adult Baseball League, and you can check out the league website, www.CincyABL.com. You can find stats, standings, rosters, schedules, and game recaps, among other things on there. Once again, that's Cincy with a Y, ABL.com. With that, I'd like to welcome in our co-host, also the show's executive producer and longtime Colt 45 veteran, Ray Sterling. And Ray, welcome to podcast number 13, maybe a lucky number 13. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it to be a lucky number 13 this time instead of a bad luck number. But this good that we're all out here having a good time. Got a good week of ball to go over and get this show going. One thing, though, I don't know if it is fitting with week number 13, but we had a little bit of a tragedy this past week in the league, and one of our brothers, A.J. Wilson, that plays with the MudCats, has lost his stepfather, Chris. And so what I'd like to do to start off the show, if we can, is just do a moment of silence for Chris and for A.J.'s family, and just know that all of our prayers are with them and with their family and everything at this time. So if everybody, when you hear this here, we're just going to do a moment of silence here for Chris. All right, thanks everybody. I appreciate that. And AJ, family needs anything, don't hesitate to reach out, brother. We love you to death, man. And I'm sorry that we have to go through this. But
yeah, well said, Ray. And our condolences certainly to AJ and his family. You hate to hear something like that, especially with, one of our brothers that enjoys playing baseball as much as we do. And, he's hurting, we're all hurting. So, again, our condolences, and well said, Ray.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and turn it to the positive side, and let's talk about some games that happened last week. I know we got some good ones that were on the schedule, and got some good games in. So let's go ahead and start that off with the games of the week.
All right, let's get after it on Sunday. We'll start back with Sunday, the 21st of July. The Bulls able to shut out the MudCats by a final score of 10-0. Scott Brothers, name I haven't heard in a while, a 2-run double and keying a 6-run fourth inning. So Brothers not on the mound, but getting some contributions in there with the stick. Crosby goes the 6-inning shutout. So a good job by Justin Crosby, the young rookie, to get the W. Colt 45s, your team, Ray, took it to the Dayton Braves 17-1. And how about Chris and Goglia coming out of their 16 strikeouts?
Yeah, Chris came out, was able to finally make his debut. We were hoping he was going to be out a couple weeks ago, and it got delayed a little bit. But he was able to make his debut, and he right off the bat come out and 16 Ks. That's, I think we're first debut. I don't know if we've got a debut that's going to be up for possible Player of the Week. But Chris was on fire. I mean, we were standing out there just. I don't think any of us really needed to be out in the field there for a while. So.
Yeah, that's a good hitting Dayton Braves team that he did that against. And Chris, former Florence Freedom pitcher, I got a chance to play with him a couple of years ago down in one of those Florence Freedom Legend games. And, good left-handed arm, and, he's able to get it done. And, he makes you guys a dangerous team with the way you guys swing the bat if he's able to give you some innings from here on out.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's the key. We've started hitting again. And now we just got to put a couple other things together. That was a big show. That was definitely helpful with Chris coming out and having a strong day pitching for us. As you know, we've been struggling with defense, and which we'll cover here in a little bit. It actually hurt us again, but we are swinging the bat. We're putting some runs up on the board, so hopefully we'll tie everything together as it's coming down to when we get down towards the wire and try to get in that place to battle for the tournament there at the end. So we had, let's cover your game here. We had Yankees and the Flying Tigers, and it looks like you guys took it to the Flying Tigers 10-0. So,
10-0 win. Chad Adams with home runs number 5 and 6 on the season. He's been on fire the last 3 weeks, kind of pacing the offense. And Yeah, kind of a Johnny Holstaff game. Chase Stewart started, gave us 3 good innings, and threw a few more guys out there to get him some work. And good win for us. Flying Tigers always give us a tough game, no matter where we play them or what their team name is. It seems like it's always a tough game. And I want to give a shout out to the guys on the Flying Tigers. They were out at Wyoming at 6 a.m. Yes, 6 a.m. Sunday morning, getting that field ready for us because the field over at Loveland has been kind of in shambles, I guess. Knowing that the school's really taken care of it. So I had to move that to Wyoming. Hats off to the guys from the Flying Tigers getting the field ready. It was in great shape, and certainly our thanks for getting that ready for us.
Yeah, great job, guys. Way to get out there and get that playable and be able to get the game in. Everybody appreciates that. Next game was at Finneytown, and it looks like the Orioles got the sting at the Finneytown. So Sting takes them down 16-0. Sting's been hitting the ball. They've been putting some numbers up. Shadow got his team going, doesn't he?
Put up some big-time offensive numbers this year. I think they're leading the league in scoring. I've seen a bunch of games in the teens there. So a lot of guys hitting with that team. Shao got a couple of home runs. Zane Vogelsang just killing the ball right now. So that's a dangerous team. And out of Brian Wilson Field, the Hustle got some revenge from an early season loss to the Reds. They win this game by a final score of 12-2. Tim Jarrett throwing a 4-hitter there, and don't look now, but Hustle's starting to get on a bit of a roll.
Glad that we got them when we were able to get them the last time. But
exactly.
They're
I think we're in the same boat. We caught them at just the right time. Like I think we caught them in the same week, probably at the right time for sure. Out at Heritage, Tigers beat the Expos 15-6. Tigers continue to be very competitive. How about Jake Eby? 7 RBI. Wow, big game for Jake Eby. And Tigers rolling. They beat the Expos by a final score of 15-6.
That's a big day. I mean, 3 for 5, 7 RBIs. Man,
I'll say
that's what some guys I think are getting in the whole season. So
the season, no doubt, 7 RBIs. Yeah. That's the whole season's worth for some dudes.
Yeah, a lot of high-scoring games. It seemed like on Sunday. So guys were out ready to hit. But up at Sycamore High School, we had the Suds take on the Dragons. Looks like the Dragons played them a little tight there. 8-2, Suds were able to take the Dragons down.
A little note on this game, Ray. It was the closest game of the day, and a day full of blowouts. 8-2 was the closest game of the day. I think 8 of the 10 were run rules. But the Dragons have a guy named Pete Levitt, who most recently pitched for the Florence Freedom a couple of years ago. He threw about 6 innings for the Dragons in this game, and it was a 2-1 game through 6. So Dragons adding an arm there that could really help them down the stretch. If he's on the bump, it sounds like kind of a shutdown guy there.
Yeah, we talked about last week, looking out on the waiver wire, and they go out and find somebody and bring a guy in and helps them out and could make them stronger going forward. So look out for them. The other game out at Foundation, Hooks didn't have a problem with the Dodgers at Foundation on Sunday. Hooks took them down 12-0. So hot bats, as they even said. So
especially how about Bo Turner? 3 for 4, 6 ribbies in his 3rd and 4th home run in just 3 games. Bo Turner just on fire right now. And you don't get any cheapies out of Foundation either. That's pretty good poke.
Yeah, that's definitely a good shot out there. I mean, that's a legit home run. So you don't have any short fields out there. And 3 and 4, same games. And he's seeing the ball well. It looks like a beach ball to him, I'm sure.
I'd say Bo certainly on the short list for Player of the Week this week. Out at Testerman, Deerfield took care of the Knights by a final score of 15-0. Brendan Kemp throws the 5-inning shutout there. The Meridians beat the Brewers 13-3. Meridians with a big win there, and it's a Brew Crew game, so you know what that means, Ray.
It's time for a Jayism.
Ferris Alexis today, General Compton led the troops in the Battle of San Juan. The quartermaster left us horribly equipped for the sweltering heat, and many of our weapons failed us. I pray to set sight on your lovely mother again. Say hello to me. No, that's borderline creepy there. I pray to set sight on your lovely mother?
Yeah, that's
wow.
I read that one after the game. As it is, every time after our games, I'm looking the next day to see what Jay puts up. And I saw that and I was like, that's kind of cold. I don't know. That's a little weird.
Of all the things he does put up, I had to text General Compton. I said, hey, when Jay puts these in, here's an idea. How about putting the score in? I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know who won the game. I see all this stuff about Ferris Alexis and setting sights on your mother. No idea who won the game until Soto put the thing in. So, but finally, Soto put the score in. So Meridians with a big win there, 13-3.
Yeah, that covers our Sunday games and. a lot of high-scoring games on Sunday. So let's see if Wednesday fares the same way, or if we have some closer ones. I think we're going to have a little bit more closer games this week. We got the going into Wednesday. We've got the Braves and the Knights out at Action Sports. Again, like we talked about before, glad to see them guys playing out there again. And the Braves, they were hot with the bats out there, going 10-0 over the Knights. And
here's something funny about this game, Ray. Fish told me during the day Wednesday, and I don't know if, what they did to rectify this. He told me they didn't have dugouts out at Action because obviously with the tornado and the damage, and I didn't even think about that when we rescheduled the game out there. So, in fact, I haven't talked to Fish about that, but I'm not sure what they did. But with no dugouts, that'd be interesting, huh? I guess everybody brings a bag chair or something, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Just either that or right down to the side there on the fence line. Just hang your stuff up and
make it work.
Do what you got to do. As long as the field's playable, shouldn't matter, right?
Right. There you go.
The other game we had, your game against the Suds. Sorry about that. I'm going to I skipped over the Brewers and the Flying Tigers because I like to save the J-isms for you. So, and plus I cover your game. But the Suds is 7 and you guys were 5. So Suds take you guys down in a tight game though.
It was an interesting game. Yeah, we get 4 in the top half of the first inning. 5 of the first 7 batters with hits. I'm thinking, heck, we're in business tonight, right? And big Daniel Kusakari, he settled in, kind of like we talked with Demler last week. You let a good pitcher settle in, and we didn't touch him again until the 7th. Had the tying runs on base in the 7th, couldn't get him around. But the Suds get a bunch of 2-out hits in between. I give them credit. They did a heck of a job. Come back and win the game 7-5. Interesting stat on this with the Suds. I went back and looked at it, Ray. Mm-hmm. This is the 3rd consecutive year that the Yankees and Suds have split the season series. And if you go back to the 2012 championship game in which the Yankees won that year, they beat the Suds in the finals. Starting with 2013, these two teams have played 18 times, and each team has won 9. And I think we talked about this way back when. That's what makes a rivalry great. Exactly. They're beating our butt, we're beating them, and it's back and forth. And over a 6-7 year stretch, we're dead even. So. We got them the first time. They got us this time, but that's just the way it goes with Suds Yankees. Great rivalry, kind of like you guys had with the MudCats. Certainly appreciate the rivalry, and maybe we'll get a chance to renew that in the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe next year we have to start adding in the rivalry week. Just having those games on the same week or something. That's
a good idea. We should identify everybody's top rival. In fact. Ray, I think that's a good opportunity to tell our listeners right now. We want to hear from you guys. What is the top rivalry for each team? You let us know. In fact, Dave Rink started a Reddit page where you can do some feedback. You can put it on the Facebook page or get a hold of Ray and I. And we'd like to know because, we talked about this. This was the topic going way back, Ray. And, with my team, it's the Suds, the Hooks, this thing. Those have been our rivals over the years. But if we do a rivalry week, who do you want to see the 10 matchups? And that should be interesting.
Yeah, something else would be kind of nice. Just a real quick break in here before we pick up the other games is same thing on that is we talked about doing some shows during the off season. I think we ought to do a few shows and do some storylines on some rivalries. That would be kind of neat.
Yeah, absolutely. We have all the historical records on the games, the rivalries, how many times they played, when and where, and I think that'd be pretty cool. So definitely something we can touch on, and we do want to hear from you guys listening what you think your top rival might be. And back at the games, we do have a J-ism. Flying Tigers beat the Brewers 11-6, and here it is. Dear Eliza, I have heard stories of attacks by flying pig dogs recently, but I dismissed them because of their outlandish nature. Today, we had the displeasure of facing many pig dogs, and I can say that I will never unsee such savagery the rest of my days. A little backstory for the new guys. The Flying Tigers were the Flying Pigs the last 2 seasons, so that's where the pig reference comes in, and the twisted mind of one Jay Lowry.
That was a good one. I knew you'd like that one, so that's why I had to skip over and get to it before you let you do that one.
All right, I'll let you pick up out of McNick with the Reds and Meridians.
Yeah, McNick, we had the Reds and Meridians going at it. Meridians take the Reds down 9-4. This is it's another battle that teams that are going to be fighting for in that top 8, and Meridians were able to take the Reds down 9-4. Good game there.
Joe Mills, 13 Ks. Ray, I think right now, if you had to ask me who's the player of the year in the league, Yeah, you might have to start talking Joe Mills. He's pitched about 60 innings, lights out.